Hey guys, how you doing? Let's do this thing. I want to go over a game that Fabi was black, and and his opponent was white, and this is kind of the French. This is the French defense. So I know it's not played very often with Fabi, but I just wanted to show that to you guys. Let me see. Hold on. Sometimes I get a tickle and it irritates my eyes. Alrighty. Okay, dokie. Alright. His opponent goes e4, e6, d4, d5, knight d2. Hold on. There we go. That's irritating. Okay. E6, e7. This is kind of a Tarash variation, but an odd line. But it would be a bishop. It'd be a knight here instead of a. Sorry. You go here. I'll show you back here. It actually. This is the true Tarash variation, and then that. That's a Tarash variation. But in this scenario, there's that Tarash variation with the bishop, and it's just same. And Fabi castle queenside because it's just too unsafe to castle kingside. There's too many pieces pointing at black's kingside. So he takes, and then the knight comes. And if bishop takes here, which would be a mistake, you have a rook here, or potentially rook here, rook there. So rook here, rook there, and then doubles up, and you got a sweet attack going. Queen c2, rook f d8, bishop takes, and then queen's now eyeing this pawn. Queen takes knight, pawn takes, knight 1 d2, and then he's now going after the pawns, g3, and potentially that's an idea, that's an idea, that's an idea, even potentially here, and there's a lot that could be played. And now that with this move here, this pawn's hanging, by the way. I wanted you guys to know that. That pawn's hanging. And so now this under fire. Potentially, he can't play bishop h3, so you don't have black doesn't have to worry about his bishop getting. I mean, his rook getting pushed out. Queen h4, h7, sorry. The rook slides up. Potentially, there's a check here, so I don't think that check would actually benefit anything. Let me see. I think he could just intercept with his knight. And he's actually better. So a4. He's trying to get the bishop trapped. a5. b5. Knight d. Knight h. That would have been a better move. It would have kind of held. The rook would have had to move. But he wouldn't have lost his queen. And this is pinned again. Double attack. The queen could actually potentially come either here, aim at this rook with this double attack there. So queen here and then there. This is actually a really strong move, and if he plays there, you can actually play here and get your pawns and rolling up the board. Surprised he didn't take there. Well, then he loses 2 rooks, so yeah, so he can't really do that. I think that's best in that scenario, because if he plays here, then he could actually take there. Still losing though. This is a young Fabi though. He's like 14, 13, 14, so his opponent resigned here. This is what they said to play. And then he gets these pawns are rolling up the board and he wins. I wanted to show you a game that I just recently played. I'm white, my opponent's black. Okay. I kind of see why now that I remember is that you're forcing the takes here and he wastes a move and you gain a tempo, so Hmm. Snap, I missed that. So I missed a tactic there, but that's okay. So we'll go on to our puzzles now. And we'll start earning some points. Okay. Let's do this, guys. Okay. Should be interesting here. Okay. That can't be played because of a threatened mate. So let's just first take a look at takes. Check. Back. Checkmate. So you really can't take here because eventually it's going to end in mate. Because you have to come back after the check. And then this rook slides down and mates, or this rook slides down and mates. It doesn't matter which rook, you would get checkmated. So there's a potential, though, idea of that. That's an interesting idea. And if the queen goes here, well, let's say the queen goes here to hold. Because here, queen goes there, takes. What am I missing here? I really don't see anything better than that, but I'm trying to see if it actually works. queen comes here, then I have actually queen there. And then if rook takes, knight takes. I don't really see anything better than, well, I guess I could play there. Then after rook takes knight, check up here. We don't have anything after that. We're toast. So I believe that's kind of for, oh, not right. Miscalculation there. Oh, that was a cincher. Drat. Snap, 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 crackle, and pop. Okay, dokie. Let's see. Okay, if we play pawn, bishop takes knight, rook takes knight, queen check, king h7, okay, here, check, king h7, rook takes, and then we have rook takes bishop, but then he actually comes with a check. So probably I'd have to come up. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if I takes here, check, up, and I actually guard the rook, then the bishop. So there's no infiltration. And if he pushes here, that's fine. I just retreat my. No, I can't. So I'd have to. Oh, snapola. Well, I guess I just take the bishop at that point. And then if rook takes bishop, let's set this up real quick, because I kind of make sure that I'm doing this right. These need to actually be set up, because I don't want to make a move. We're doing so good, and I don't want to take us below 1300. That'd be bad, and I don't want to do that. Do 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 do. Boom boom. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Bum bum bum. Do 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 do. Get the X. Stay right there. And don't you know? Okay, let's see here. Alright. Okay. Alright, we got it all. So I moved from here. Hey. Raid? That's funny. Read. That's good. That's funny. Let's see. Okay, so if we played bishop takes knight, that's one idea. Actually, that's kind of the main idea that you have to decide. And at this point, if you played queen check, king would have to, he either has two options to go to here or there. So here, and let's say he goes straight up after that. And then at this point you'd push the pawn, and this is this pawn push here is what's a little concerning. I kind of see that potentially you can take here, but then I was looking at either rook takes excuse me one second, or pawn takes. And I believe now pawn takes is probably best. So here, up, there, snap. Here, up, push, and then you take here. That's right. So far, so good. Then pawn takes knight. Check. And then king would just come back. And we potentially could just push this pawn with check. The king has to go over to f8. So I'm kind of a little concerned about that move there. So well, the queen's here. This is actually how it goes is here, check, king goes up. I kind of worked it out. I have a board below my screen, and I worked it out a little bit. That pushes. Rook takes bishop. Pawn takes check. Excuse me. The king goes to f8. King goes to f8 at this point. And I guess you could push at that point. Because the king was here, he goes there. And this point, I'm trying to figure. Maybe best would actually be this rook comes up here then, that point, and then we're threatening check and potentially mate. Well, this is a puzzle to solve. I believe though the first is actually taking, so that is first. So rook takes. Now we gotta start. Now we know what the computer wants to do. Sweet. So let's see, what's our next idea here? I guess we could move our king up at that point, attacking the rook. And then this rook could slide over. The other rook would slide over. Rook takes bishop. Rook to f7 check. Queen takes rook. Rook takes queen. And then king takes rook at the end of everything. And then the queen would come over and check. I think we would just move the king at that point back. And now potentially we're threatening mate. So that's an interesting one. So what do you guys think? Should we play king g7? I was trying to see if that's right, because I think that he might at this point maybe play g5, but then he would lose a bishop. So I'm thinking here, there, takes, queen check, and then over. And I really don't see any benefit for white in that scenario. What happens if the immediate rook takes bishop? I was concerned about that, but I guess, and then he has this here, potentially that, but I think we're okay. I think you're right. That would be an interesting idea. So let's see about that. Takes. He potentially has rook takes. Check. I guess he can't take, can he? Because then we could play there and threaten the rook and the queen at the same time. So the queen would have to actually at this point check. I think we're onto some. I think you're on to something with that. I'd be check at this point. And then the king could actually go up. Yeah. It's his move, so he potentially might try queen here, queen to e6. If he does that, then we actually have rook. We have rook check. Rook takes rook. Rook takes rook. King up. King check. Well, it would be our turn for checking at that point. I see what you're saying. If we played up here, he could play bishop there. Hey, how you doing? So that does kind of put a kink on our position a little bit. I think we do have something to do with the bishop takes here. Trying to see. The only thing I see that he potentially could do is that. Oh, excellent. When you're doing chess, you can't have a bad day or a bad time. Chess is fun and good for the mind. Let's see here. So what do you guys think? Well, I think potentially that may be what their idea might have been, but I'm just concerned about that though. So I think we're still okay. But if we come up here, he brings his queen in for protection, so. But I guess we could just bring our rook back down, couldn't we? And then attack the. Well, nope, my bad. The rook would take there and win. Okay, ouch. So that may have that might have a poison stain to it. Well, let me see here. Okay, if we take we could just, at that point, if need be, rather than come up here after we take here and he goes there, we could just walk off to the side. Yeah, I think we could at that point walk off to the side. Well, no. Well, he does have that at that point. Snap. Well, actually, then we could just retreat our other rook back down, and we've won a piece, haven't we? Huh. So maybe that is the move. Now that we think about it, I don't really see anything better. We could play knight there, but then he still has that check, and I don't know if it does really anything for us. And we don't really have a check at all, so. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think this is right. And this fails to that. There's no stopping that, and then eventually mate to come. And then this queen slides over, so. So it's between really two moves, here or there for the king. And G7 are we can't really do we can't go up here. Yeah, we can't go up here. He'll actually win our queen if we do that. So there's really only 2 points that we could do is h8, king h8, and king g7, because that holds onto this pawn. And but I don't really see after king g7. I don't see really anything that we could do. He has that, and it's almost over. It's close to over at that point, because there's no way of blocking the rook taking that pawn when our king's up here. We could try checking and doing all that, but that doesn't really do anything. I think he could he would actually beat us if we can't really trade anything off, and we can't come back to defend. So like if we went up here, he could actually come here, and there's really no way to defend this pawn, and it would basically be over. So, 1 second. Here I get got something in my eye. I hate when that happens. Well, just take a look at this move here. I'll be right back. And well, you could take a look at that, but just remember, take a look to see about this. That could be lost at that point. So just you could take a look at these 3 moves while I'm gone. Just really quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, the only problem though with King H, let me see here. Yeah, because of there, and it's protected by the queen. If we go to H, and then we kind of lose our queen. So yeah. I believe that's really the only move. Let's take a look and see if we play over here. What check really can he do? He could take here, but that doesn't really get him anything. Because then we could actually, at that point, if he takes, We could play our knight, and then now we have our queen involved. So, yeah. I like that move, yep. There we go. I wanted to show you guys why that there, and then this is a problem here. If I come up, he's got either that, which this is more of what I was concerned about. Oh, it's a draw. Okay. So you go back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so that's a draw. And so here we go. Okay. And I have to come up. Then if rook takes, and I guess it's a draw at that point, isn't it? Okay, you can go back and forth. Wow, a lot of drawn lines here. So that's the only way. Let's see what his response. So here, queen there, pawn push, comes back. First you check, then you take, then takes, then you play there. And it's too late, you gotta get a queen. Well, wait a second, hold on. Sorry, yeah, there. That helps a little bit. So back there, then you check, and eventually that's got a queen, and you can actually win that way. So that's sweet. 17, hurrah! Yes, you gotta love that. Oops, sorry, you gotta put my board up a little higher. I'll only set up the board if need be. Bring my keyboard back here. Boy, that was kind of a little concerning. I didn't know if we were gonna get that one right or not. Okay, here we go. It's back into the fray. Okay, so from here to there, he's attacking our rook, so we know that. But we'll just keep that in mind as we. 1 second. Excuse me. We'll keep that in mind, but now we have to look at the drawback to that move. Just keep that in your back, as they say, the back burner. Just keep that right there. So we know the rook's under fire, so we have to now see what the drawback to this move is, though, if we could take advantage of it. So let's see here, because sometimes you can actually give up a piece to win the game, and sometimes that's the idea behind it. Let's see here. Okay. That could actually be the target itself. So what we could potentially do is play rook d6. That is an idea to target that. So what potentially is the drawback? This diagonal potentially is open. So you just have to look at everything, and then you weigh it, and you find out if it has any benefit to your position, and is it worth the loss of a rook. So did we get anything for placing a bishop here? No. So that's out of the question. Did the bishop block anything that could, like, would there be a queen here that we could attack? No. So what potentially is, there's two things that it could be: a waste of time move, or the piece itself could actually be the problem. So we have to take a consideration that. So if the piece is the drawback, which means it's on a square that could be attacked, potentially you can play rook to d6, and yes, potentially the queen can go to c5. So you have to look at that. And then if we retreat our rook back, the bishop could take. Then when rook takes, he actually wins a piece. So we really at this moment can't take advantage of the bishop. I mean, not bishop. Yeah, the bishop. Sorry, the bishop. Yeah. So that kind of leaves a couple options for us to give the rook, get the life of the rook. Potentially we have, yeah, knight takes, wait a second, king takes c5. Knight takes c5. Well, we don't have a knight. Okay, oh, I see knight c5. Knight c5? Oh, snap, you're right. My bad. Yeah. Oh, that does change the scenario, doesn't it? Yeah, you're right. I think you're right at that point. Yeah, that makes, okay, so the bishop is the target itself. I forgot that the knight actually covered that. That's right. Yeah. So that it is the target. The bishop is the target. And what is the second paper this year? This I just, what I did was, the thing in the background. Oh, that's my chessboard that I can actually, there's small ones and then big ones. I have a really large one, and then you could take they're about this big, really pretty big, and you could take them and move them behind your. Oh, well, in this right here, if this is what you're talking about, I just, all of a sudden I thought about, you can either have a dark screen or a light screen, and I decided I didn't like the dark or the light screen, because dark kind of was like, it was a little depressing, so I took off and did the clear, and this right here is kind of the one that they give you by default. This is like the default setting, and the board behind me is my practice board that I work things out if I have a book, so I don't have to always use a chessboard. And it's really nice to have. So, But I believe that's potentially the move. I'm trying to see, is there any counter now to that? Well, potentially that, but no, then we take there. So he has that, but then we take there. He's got that. If he goes there, we take there. He takes there, and we take that. So he's going to have to go back to where it came from. And then potentially we have takes at that point. Or we have that. He may have that too. So you have to always think of these ideas. If that he has here, he can't play here, so we know that. He potentially could play here or here. So he's got these two moves that or three moves he can go to. He does potentially have that, I guess, but that would not be a very good one in my opinion. I kind of like the backdrop. Yeah, one of these. I don't think. Yeah, I think that if I'm not mistaken, that has to be the best. And any move that he goes to, he's gonna like what you're saying, surrender that, and then surrender that, and then surrender that type of position. Once this rook takes here, it's gonna attack these two points, and then that'll be under attack once we take this pawn, because his bishop's gonna move. Actually, maybe a rook will come up, then we can take that. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And if he plays here, we could take, bishop takes, rook takes, and our two rooks are here. Both rooks are here, so we're safe. Yeah. That is funny. Who'd have thunk, you know? Like, if he plays, we'll say here, let's see what happens. I think we can actually play. If we play there, do we get anything? Oh, nice. This is even better. Yeah, this is even better. So if he plays his knight back, then we smack. And if he plays there, we can actually at that point take there. Oh, wow. That's sweet. So sweet. You got two pieces for a rook. Wow, this is nice. This is a nice one. That is so nice. Then you just run and look at all the material you have compared to him. Yeah, he's in a big problem. Yeah, he'll get owned. Yeah, that won't be too fun for him or for our opponent. Yikes. Let's see, what's the drawback to this move here? Smack. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, once, if you want to think about it, it once guarded this here. And now it's potentially, is itself a weakness? No, because it's protected by a rook. But was it a waste of time? Potentially. So if it is a waste of time of a move, let's see what we can accomplish with the waste of time that our opponent allotted us. So, okay. Okie dokie. We potentially have that, but I doubt that because they could take there, there, there. So that does not. We do have there. This is an interesting idea here. Yeah, yeah. I think that's basically this was the waste of time that they had. We brought our knight to e5 from here to there. The bishop had to move back to either here. They're gonna lose a fork, so I think that pawn push is the best. But we tried. I looked at f6. I mean f3. It is an interesting move, but even if you take here, the queen would take back and then guard this point here. So I think potentially that is not a bad move. We did take a look at that. It's not a bad move though. It pries open a keys, pawn, but if this pawn move, I mean if this bishop move is a waste of time, right? And it gives us one tempo, we have this move here which is a fork. And so, but we now have to decide, is there any flaw to that fork? And potentially there is. Taking there. So ooh, nice. And then we have that. Sweet. Okay, you're right about you're right about knight f3. But first, this has to. Oh wait, no, that's not gonna work. What was I thinking? Drat, I was hoping this was still open, but this is actually closed. That's irritating. So we have to consider what happens after it takes here. So that's what I'm wondering. Excuse me. I kind of like that. Potentially that's an interesting move. Yeah. So here, if he plays there, we have that. Yeah. So I think that might be an idea there. Yeah, it does stop mate. Trying to see, because I know potentially if we play that, we play there, we take here. He takes there. We take here. He moves there. Do we have any anything after that. Drat. This is a trick for sure. I'm trying to see if that wins us anything, and then if we push onward, if that wins us anything. But he actually would I'm trying to see if here, 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 and if he plays there, we play there and we get mate. So I'm trying to see. We'll see if we played here. And he plays there. If we play here. I'm thinking that's right too as well. Oh. Snapola. Really? Oh, we win the... Okay. Yeah, we want to hold, so... We were close. Very close. Very close. Snap. Because I don't think... Let's go. We'll go back and take a look at that, because we need to use it for learning. One thing I was concerned about is that. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. There's mate there. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you gotta be careful. There's... Okay. Yep, there's the fork. Boom. And it's equal. Okay, I gotcha. Yep. Yep. That's right. Yeah. It's a draw at that point. I think we have equal enough positional advantage for that. Let's see here. So what's the drawback to this move? So it takes there. Is there any idea that we can base this around? Okay, dokie. There's kind of this idea here you potentially come back and take, but I'm trying to see what it left that. You have to always think what did this pawn once guard before it guarded here and there. So, which meant that a knight wouldn't be able to come here, because when the pawn was here, if the knight would have went there, it would have been taken. So. What if knight takes a... I was looking at that, but... That's hanging, isn't it? Yeah. That is an interesting... That's kind of... I was kind of looking at that, but I wasn't sure if that wasn't the move, but I kind of... Let me see. Because if we play there and he takes there, we always have an in-between move of that, so we can win a rook. And then at that point win the knight back as well because of the pawn. So this is an actual double threat here and there. So that's the most forcing. But the only problem is he has queen here. Actually, he doesn't have queen there because we have that. I like that. Oh. Oh. Wow. Let's see. Why doesn't that work? Oh, is it because... Oh, because of here. Okay. Yeah, reverse order. So we first take here, then we takes, okay, we take there, he takes there, and we take, okay, we had the right thing but wrong order. Snap. Okay. Okay, I gotta remember to check order of operation. Okay, so I moved here, so it's white to move at this point. So rook's undefended. Let's see here. Drawback is that it the queen doesn't guard there. This also holds that too. So if here takes, rook takes knight, this is still holding. And if she tries like check, they can't play. They could, I guess you could play there. Then you can just push up. Let's see, is there any move? Because if he moves his knight anywhere, the queen falls. You might try that, but then we win a rook. We always can block there too with that rook. So I believe, let me see here, queen's there. If rook tries here, we take there. So here, queen tries there, we take here. If knight there, we take the queen. So I don't really see any drawback to that move. That would take. Boom, okay. So what's the drawback to this move? Well, potentially there is a fork of the queen and rook, so that's at first glance an idea. The rook itself is a problem. Yeah, exactly. So so here, if you play knight to e3, see what could he actually do here? Yeah, we're getting there. We're trying to get to 2,500. We fluctuate between like 24. It's like, and then they really ding you. What I'm concerned about is actually that. Because if we take here, then the queen can actually play there and potentially do a perpetual. So if we were to play here and he plays there, we'd have to take with the rook. But then he's got that, and then we're in a problem again. Yeah, what you have to do is just take your time with the puzzles, and if you have to, sometimes I set up a chessboard and I work it out on the chessboard. That's what helps me with the puzzles. And one thing you don't want to do is guess. So that's the hardest thing to not do. Is if you don't know it, sometimes the best thing to do is to just get up and walk around and then come back. That's what I have to do sometimes. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Like you have to, sometimes it feels like the puzzles go on forever, but it's better to get it right in your mind because then you actually imprint this type of play, and you will see this in your games, and it'll be so sweet when you actually can implement it. That's funny. Let's see here. So if we did here, he played there. We took here, he took there. Alright, let me see here. There, he played there. We took here. He took there. Hmm. So here, here, there, push. And we end up getting the queen back, so I'm thinking that has to be the only move. Potentially he's got a check there, though. I think more likely what he's going to do is check here. Well, then we'd have to move over after here. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But you have to. Grandmasters have like tens of thousands of these type of positions in their head, and so when they look at the board, They already, the board may look so muddled up. Oh, that is true. I see what you're saying. Well, then probably we'd have to come back down here. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, we'd have to come down to h8 then. So if we played here, here, h8, and I think we're still fine at that point. Yeah. But they have like thousands of these mini tactic in their head. So when they see a position on a board, it may look like there's lots and lots of pieces and everything, but they already can look at and find. They already have a picture in their head where they want to be, and it's possible. I believe that's right. Let me see. There. Okay, so what can he do after that? Well, I guess potentially he could play here, but he's got there. Yeah, I think we're good. True. True. They probably and the interesting thing is they don't look at it as 20 moves. They look at it as how they can get there. So what do they need to trade off to get there? And that's the whole thing. So I really, after this here, I don't really see anything after that. I don't see what he can do after that. I think we win a piece or an exchange at this point. And at that point his knight would be hanging and his rook would be hanging. So yeah, I believe that's it. Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. I think pawn move. I think we push that. And then after here, you could just, it sounds strange, but you could just move your king. I think this is forced. Yeah, I think that has to be forced for a double attack to come into play. Yeah. And then now you take. There we go. Boom. No, you just push. You just push like what you're saying is g5 was correct, and then you just at that point when the queen moves, you take the. There is actually this line. I'll show you what I was thinking here. if he plays here, I was looking at that, and you can actually play h8 at that point. When he plays there, you just take, and then rook takes, and pawn takes, and now you just disintegrated his whole entire structure. He's toast. Let's see here. Thinking potentially a knight check might be an idea here. That does look interesting for sure. And then if king, we'll say king comes up here. If we go here, he's got mate. No, he doesn't have mate because of the rook. So we're still good. Yeah, that is interesting for sure. But I think more likely he's going to take with the rook because he's thinking that he's going to win an exchange. Yeah, I'm thinking, let me see here. See if he plays knight here, rook takes. But I don't think we're going for a rook. I think we're going for a KO here. These are 2 points that are hit weakness. thinking maybe it's something to do with that. But I doubt that, because then he could block there. Or here. It does have that. It does have that too. So if we played here, he could actually take there. Well, if he does that, then we take there. That'd be mate, because we'd have to come back and then we'd take. Just 1 sec, I'll be right back. But I think you might be right in that, because we're starting to see how that this actually does potentially lead to mate. If the bishop goes here, we play bishop takes, right? Knight takes, and that's checkmate. So by opening this up, this is actually the drawback. You did find the drawback, so I believe potentially this is a drawback. And so we have to come to grips with this. if he wants the rook, let him have the rook. The whole game's about checkmate. So let's take a calculation on bishop g5, which I believe is a excellent move that you did fine there. So that was a great move. So if he plays here, we take there with check. He takes here. We play bishop takes, queen takes, and then we take here. And we've won a piece, and we're guarding this point here. And so if we play bishop here, let's say he takes, right? Then what we do is we take here, and we've won a rook. If he comes back, then now we can actually play something like that maybe, and actually do a check. Something. We are gonna win. We win in exchange either way, and so we're good. So if he plays here, we just play there, checkmate. So more likely he's gonna play after we play here, there, and then at this point we have two, because we really can't play there, because if we did it would open up that. So by us keeping our knight here, it covers this, so that when we play here, if he comes there to c2, bishop g5, queen knight c2 check, we move, and if he snaps that off, we then snap his queen off. So we're gonna win. So I believe that's right. I'm trying to see, is there any counter to that? Yeah, king f1 is. Oh, you're thinking king f1? We lose our knight. So you have to. It has to be a quick slash dash crushing attack. That's why bishop g5 is a really strong move. Don't turn down bishop g5. Yeah, I believe that's. Oh snap! Really? Why? Why is that? Why is that right? Why doesn't this work? Because there. Okay. We move. Queen comes up. Queen takes. Oh. Takes. Okay, so snap. Drat. That's okay. We'll do one more, then I gotta log. Not to worry. Okay, the drawback to that is, excuse me, let me see here. let's see, it could be a waste of time. He's hammering here, so this right here. If only we can get a something to so that we can divert that away. We kind of have a potential checkmating idea there, so that's interesting. Let me see. Yeah, I was looking. This is the way to stop it. True, very true. Sad but true. There is a potential of that, though. Knight takes c3, or takes c3, queen takes c3. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, wow. We'll do one more, and then I gotta log this. Okay. But that was kind of, we almost had it. Let's see here. Yeah, that was my fault there. I kind of rushed. I did, so. Yeah, he is exposed for sure. Trying to see what's the drawback to that move. Trying to see, potentially I have something like that. Queen d4. Let's say he moves over. Crosspin. Yeah, I don't really see anything wrong with that one. Is there any flaws to... I don't really see any flaws to that. So I think we just take there, yeah. We'll try one. I'll do one more, because one more. I get like I get into the tactics too much, and then I'm like tactic. Okay. Okie dokie. I know. Yeah, I know. I gotta, you know what? They usually take longer. But that's why I kind of said one more, because sometimes these tactics take like 10 to 20 minutes to solve, and when I get ones that are quicker, then I'm like I want to do another one. So it's like it's like like it's just I don't know. I just love doing tactics, especially when we get them quick like that. That's funny. One more, yeah. That's as they say, the famous last words, right? That's funny. Let's see here. Let's focus down and we'll find this. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, he's got somewhat like a wheelbarrow on us. If we, let's see, if we played pawn takes queen. And this has to be, well, this will be the last one because it's getting to the time where I gotta log. So, let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, that takes, then bishop takes. And you can actually, I believe you can actually take here. Yeah, I think takes. If bishop takes, then wow. Okay. I think that's right. Don't we lose a ton of material in that sequence, though? Like if we played here. Trying to see, because this one, you gotta be careful, because this pawn does cause a lot of trouble in your position. So if we take on c6, queen takes c6. So we can't really do that. I don't believe we can actually take, because then yeah, let's see this. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, we're I got a log. I appreciate that y'all came on. Yeah, it's okay. We lose a rook, but we gain a queen, so that's good. So, well, guys, do you have any lines to go over on this that you're thinking of before I log off? Because I have to log right now. I kind of went over a little bit of my time because I love doing tactics and it's fun doing them with you guys. So, but okay, so guys, do you have any questions on any of this? Anything? Are you guys all good? All right, perfect. Guys, thank you all for logging on. We're getting there. Had a bump in the road, but guess what? We'll come back. We never give up, okay? Learn from your mistakes, keep moving forward. We're gonna do this, okay? And remember, study chess and don't ever give up, because sometimes you're gonna hit a plateau. So remember that. Remember, there's always a plan to position. You just gotta find it. And when you do, you get to say this: I love it when a plan comes together. Well, as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, or evening, and I'll be back on, Lord willing. Bye-bye, guys.